Indiana didn't just beat Oregon in the college football playoff semifinal, it steamrolled the Ducks. Behind a defense that turned turnovers into points and a near-flawless night from Heisman-winning quarterback Fernando Mendoza, the number 1 seeded Hoosiers crushed number 5 Oregon 56-22 in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, punching their ticket to the national title game against number 10 Miami on January 19th at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. A game decided almost immediately. Oregon's night went sideways on the very first snap. Indiana corner D'Angelo Pons jumped a quick throw from Oregon QB Dante Moore, intercepted it, and returned it 25 yards for a touchdown, giving Indiana a 7-0 lead just 11 seconds into the game. Oregon briefly steadied itself with a long, clock-draining drive capped by a 19-yard touchdown pass from Moore to tight end Jamari Johnson to tie it 7-7. But that was essentially Oregon's last moment of control in the first half. From there, Indiana's don't beat yourself, punish mistakes, identity took over. The turnovers that broke Oregon. The theme of the night was Oregon giving Indiana short fields, and Indiana turning those gifts into a runaway score. One of the turning points came in the second quarter when a screen attempt went wrong. As Moore released the ball, it clipped running back Dyer Hill Jr. and fluttered loose, landing near Oregon's 3-yard line before Indiana recovered. 3 plays later, Indiana punched it in on a 1-yard Kalon Black run, and the route was on. Indiana didn't stop there. Moore later lost another fumble on a sack, again giving Indiana excellent field position, and by halftime, the Hoosiers led 35-7. In total, Oregon committed 3 first-half turnovers, and Indiana consistently converted those mistakes into touchdowns. Mendoza's efficiency, Indiana's balance, and a statement season. While Indiana's defense authored the early chaos, Mendoza made sure Oregon had no path back. He finished 17 for 20 passing with 5 touchdowns, a hyper-efficient line that matched the game's one-way feel. CBS Sports framed it as another chapter in a season that's starting to look all-time dominant. Indiana has now won 10 of 15 games by 24-plus points, including CFP blowouts of Alabama and Oregon. And in CBS report card framing, the performance got the highest possible mark. Indiana, A+. Why Oregon couldn't respond. Even beyond the turnovers, Oregon was fighting uphill structurally. The Guardian noted the Ducks were short-handed at running back, missing key contributors, and struggled to generate anything consistent on the ground early. 9 rushing yards on 17 carries by halftime, putting more pressure on Moore against a defense already dictating terms. Moore ultimately finished with volume numbers. ESPN reported 24 of 39 for 285 yards and 2 touchdowns, but also absorbed sacks and, more importantly, produced the mistakes Indiana turned into a blowout. CBS gave Oregon an F, emphasizing the first-half collapse, the early pick-six, and the repeated turnovers deep in Ducks territory that essentially handed Indiana points. A familiar postseason gut punch for Oregon. ESPN also contextualized the loss as part of a troubling postseason pattern for Oregon. This was the Ducks' second straight ugly CFP exit after last season's first-half disaster in a quarterfinal loss to Ohio State. And there's off-season turbulence ahead. ESPN reported offensive coordinator Will Stein coached his last game at Oregon, leaving for Kentucky's head job, and defensive coordinator Tosh Lupoy is also departing for the California head coaching role. What's next? Indiana versus Miami for the title. Now, Indiana moves 1 win away from college football immortality, as The Guardian put it, with a national championship matchup against Miami looming on January 19th. If the Peach Bowl was any indication, Indiana's formula travels. Protect the ball, win field position, let the defense create chaos, and let Mendoza turn advantages into touchdowns. Against Oregon, it wasn't just effective, it was overwhelming.